commercial pretty much started first time I was in college. We were handed an assignment to do a 30-second commercial, and I had to come up with an idea. It always occurred to me that funny commercials always stick with you better than, emotional, impactful. Writing wasn't too complicated. It pretty much came down to just backwards engineering the entire "I can't believe it's not butter" idea. So I kind of tried to figure out what situation would be funny for somebody to use the product, and for whatever reason, this concept came into my head.
Well, let's see, during pre-production, we did quite a bit, my assistant producer and I. Basically, we did a lot of organizing.
Okay, I'll call back then. Thanks. Bye.
Getting people together was one of the hardest things to do. And basically, we did a lot of walking around, did a lot of location scouting, and just getting all the equipment together was one of the hardest things we had to do. The hardest part of pre-production, organization. I mean, I was pretty organized. I was trying to stay as organized as I could because I know these things can get really complicated after a while. Just keeping people motivated, into that whole idea and getting them really interested in the idea that we were going to do this as a class and this was something that we all wanted. Basically, keep the mood and spirits high.
Where did you come from,
we got all the equipment.
Did you know you're everything I prayed for? Did you know every night and day for? Every day, needing love and satisfaction. Now you're lying next to me, giving it to me. I believe in miracles.
Scott, because he was, the majority of the work, it took us a little while to get into our groove. He's not a professional actor, so it wasn't easy for him to step into that immediately, but as soon as he found his groove, he was just rolling, hitting every single mark, hitting every single take, and, beyond the initial scene when we were shooting in the kitchen, he was just nailing everything, and we'd only have to do a couple takes of this and a couple takes of that, and it really just became so easy. He took direction really well. Action.
We had a lot of fun shooting. There was lots of joking around, and yeah, you think it's so easy in your mind. You just do this and then that and then the other thing. But when you got a camera in front of you and everybody's waiting, then it becomes really difficult to remember exactly what you're supposed to do and follow the right path and stay in frame and remember your lines and timing and everything. No, James was really easy to work with. He told me exactly what he wanted me to do and pretty much just acted out scenes for me so that I knew what I was doing.
Savannah was great. She only really needed to be there for about an hour. We only really needed 2 or 3 takes of, the entire thing, just getting a couple different angles, and a couple people weren't happy with the fact that we only got a couple angles. I think they wanted me to shoot an entire hour's worth of that, but shooting went all right, because we're not, a professional crew. We're not, we're all amateurs, we're all editors by nature, so we're not used to doing long film shoots. So a lot of people were kind of restless and bored throughout most of it. We eventually found our groove, though. Things were a little complicated with just the one camera and, very few lights, so took our time getting things set up and took most of the day, but went pretty smoothly. Could have dealt with a few less people on set, but, it was meant to be a learning experience for everybody.
I think I hit my pants.
Why didn't you go before we left?
I did.